Hello everyone, and thank you for coming back and watching our channel. This is the newest installment, the new chapter. For those of you who have been following us, I know you've been impatiently or patiently, however it may be, waiting for when we finally get to Italy. So, this is the chapter. This is where we finally make the leap to Italy. As you know from our last video, we were going to purchase an apartment in Mallorca, but in the end we had to back out of the deal because it just didn't feel right, and there were some other factors which we got into the previous video. So June 2024 was a very disappointing month because things didn't really work out in Mallorca the way we had hoped. That following month though, July 2024, I had already had plans to go to Italy with my friend Tanya. We decided to do a little weekend trip and went to Milan. It really did change everything. So let me briefly tell you what you're going to see in this video. July of 2024, I went to Milan and Lake Como with my friend Tanya. Following September, October 2024, Jefferson and I ended up going to Lago Maggiore, mainly because I had told him how much I loved northern Italy from that short weekend, even though it was a miserable weekend in Lake Como in terms of the weather. But I told him how much I liked it, and he ended up deciding that maybe Lago Maggiore should be a place we go. So in this video, you'll see our first trip to what will be our future home and us exploring Lago Maggiore. I apologize, there are more photos and we're getting to the more videos. Trust me, and thank you so much for being patient. But at this point, we really didn't think we were going to be vlogging or creating a YouTube channel or anything like that. So there's still a lot of stills, but we're getting to the videos, I promise. So just hang in there. We will show you, of course, the area around Lago Maggiore where we purchased our house. We will show you one house that we looked at, well, actually specifically an apartment, and then also the house that we ended up surprisingly putting an offer on while we were there on vacation in October of 2024. So this is the video, enjoy it. Thank you again so much for watching. We really appreciate it, and we also really appreciate your patience. Don't forget us on Instagram, Casa Berganzoli, and we have a couple of exciting things coming up, so make sure to keep tuned in rather, to our Instagram channel because there's going to be some news coming out very shortly. So thank you so much and enjoy the video. So in July of 2024, fresh on the heels of disappointment in Mallorca, my friend Tanya and I went to Milan. We had already planned this trip well in advance, and it was actually perfect timing because it gave me some time to get away and clear my mind. So of course we had to do the essentials like the Duomo, the Galleria Vittorio Emanuele, Of course, one other essential in Milan is enjoying a nice rooftop cocktail. And luckily, a good friend of ours, a friend of my husband's and mine, was able to organize that for us. And we had a wonderful evening enjoying the sights. Of course, no trip to Milan would be complete without a quick excursion to Lake Como. Thank you, Tanya, for making sure we went to see the lake, because in this case, it really did change everything. But the weather was absolutely atrocious. It rained, it stormed, it was really the worst weather you could imagine, but somehow I fell in love with the landscape, the area. I thought it was absolutely amazing. But then all of a sudden the weather changed and the sun came out and we really got to enjoy Como the way you see it on the postcards. The classic beautiful blue lake, blue sky, green mountains, colorful villages, just absolutely beautiful. And I knew I wanted to go there again. Definitely wanted to share the experience with Jefferson. So once I returned, full of excitement, and when I say full of excitement, I really, really mean I was thoroughly excited. I came back and told him, we have to go. We have to go here and check this place out. And also Milan, with its diverse neighborhoods, the Navili neighborhood with its canals, and just the vibrance, the energy, the people, the music. I really loved it there. So in September of 2024, we did our last trip to Mallorca for our niece's 30th birthday. We spent about a week there, then she flew home and Jefferson had organized for us to go to Lago Maggiore. We arrived in Milan late at night and then had the most adventurous cab ride, barely making it alive to Lago Maggiore.
All right, let's do this! From Malpensa to Castelvecchiana, and we're doing it at night. How hard can it be? Are you sure this is the right way? This street looks like it's made for bicycles. Relax, signori. I know these streets like the back of my hand. We're fine.
We arrived at the Lago late at night with no way to really orient ourselves and had to wait until the next morning to see where we actually had arrived. We woke up in the morning to breathtaking views of cloud-covered mountains and, of course, as we always do, started hiking. And one of the first things we saw was our future village. We just didn't know it at the time. What's wrong with you? We invite you just to sit back and enjoy some of these sights. The beauty, the textures, the clouds, the mountains, the villages, of course, the lago itself. Enjoy. Ah, but wait, what is this? This is our future church, and there is our future house. We just didn't know it at the time. And we did look at the for sale sign, but thought, no way, this can't possibly be something we can afford. Yeah, we'll think about it. I'm sure there'll be something else. But now, again, lean back, enjoy the pictures, enjoy the sounds, and we will then show you the house hunting as it began. Vendi, vendi, vendi. Everywhere we turned, there was property for sale. And one of the first ones we looked at was in this beautiful palazzo. It was only an apartment, but it had potential until we actually got there. And then it was just plain creepy. And I had the feeling that the previous tenant, or previous tenants, were still kind of there. It just felt spooky. Then Jefferson got in touch with another realtor, Ricardo, or Ricky for short. He was almost a clone of Jefferson, full of energy, vision, excitement, just so much charisma and personality. And he showed us this beautiful home that happened to be right next to our favorite restaurant, and we liked it. Yes, it needed a lot of work. There's a lot of TLC necessary, but we could see doing it and trying to make it our own. So we ended up putting in an offer. Who would have thought we would be making an offer at the Lago the first time we see it? So with a sense of exuberance, joy, happiness, and I suspect a bit of confusion, we set off for a little weekend excursion in Milan. We left the Lago, headed to Milan, and I wanted to show Jefferson everything I had seen and explore some other areas that I missed before. We were proud of ourselves for taking this big step, but also wondering if perhaps we're a little bit crazy. As you start watching our videos, you'll probably start realizing we are definitely a little bit crazy. But I think you have to be to take these kind of steps and these kind of risks in life. And isn't that what life is all about? Going on adventures, taking risks. You only live once. You might be wondering, why am I watching this long tram ride? Well, first of all, it's beautiful. And second of all, it's sort of metaphor for what we were going through at the time. Things were moving forward quickly, rapidly, and unexpectedly. And that's what life is all about, moving forward. And of course, the couple of odd turns, which you'll see we had plenty of coming up. While in Milan, the news reached us. The sellers had taken our offer. We were so excited. I think you can tell by the big giant smiles on our faces. But as the sun set on our trip to the Lago, it also started setting a little bit on our dream. We just didn't know it yet. But that is left for the next chapter. Thank you so much for watching, and make sure to subscribe, like this post, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.